Okay, babe, get cozy and buckle up, because the tea I'm about to pour is scorching and comes with more twists than a reality TV reunion episode. I'm talking drama, jealousy, betrayal, public shade, and a sibling rivalry that could outdo the Kardashians on their messiest day. And no, this isn't about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her latest interview or post-prison romance. This is about her younger sister, Mia Blanchard, who somehow ended up getting dragged into the mess she never asked to be a part of. And the way the internet is coming for her? It's giving major, wrong place, wrong time vibes, or maybe it's deeper than that. So let me paint the picture for you. Mia is that girl, the quiet achiever, the one who minds her business, sips her water, and actually graduated from nursing school while her family was out here starring in real-life horror stories. She's got her right now license, a stable relationship, which is basically a unicorn in this economy, and a whole vibe of, I'm not like them, and I never was. Like, while Gypsy was going viral for her prison pen pal romance and post-release glam photos, Mia was just clocking into work, helping patients, and posting the occasional aesthetic TikTok. But somehow, she's the one catching strays from every direction now. Like, huh?
So after I read your comment, I went and looked, because I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to the rest of the family, and I completely didn't even think to go learn more about her sister, although I've always thought she was beautiful when we saw her on TV and things like that. And I think you're absolutely right. It's kind of ironic that that happened on that day. And so I went back even later and looked at Mia's page and the beautiful pictures she posted of her and her boyfriend. You can see the love between them. You can see the chemistry. And no picture that Gypsy's ever posted of her and Ken has ever looked like that. It looks so forced and so planned, and so like just again forced. So I believe you're right. Look at Mia. So granted, Mia didn't go through what Gypsy went through as a child.
Let's talk about this perfume business for a second, because this is where things started bubbling. Mia launched a small TikTok hustle, promoting a personal fragrance line. Cute, right? Harmless, you'd think. Just a girl with a decent following and a little side hustle trying to add something nice to the world that isn't trauma content. But no! The internet basically pulled a full U-turn and went, wait, isn't that Gypsy Rose's sister? What's she doing here? And just like that, the scent of lavender and vanilla turned into a full-blown social media roast session. People started accusing her of clout chasing, saying she was trying to capitalize off her sister's notoriety. Like, babe, she's out here trying to sell perfume, not tell you how to get away with murder. And it didn't stop there.
Granted, Mia didn't spend 8 years in prison, and she's living this beautiful life. Gypsy was given that chance. When she was given that plea deal, and she took it. She took the plea deal for second-degree murder. She knew she'd be getting out in 10 years at the most, and she got out in 8. When she got out of prison, she could have chosen to do something great with her life, to get educated, to create this beautiful life. And I feel like more people would have believed that she was a changed person and she wasn't who her crime was, that she wasn't capable of it all over again had she done that. But she didn't do that. She came right back out wanting to be in the public eye, wanting people to worship her, wanting people to think that she was something that she's not. She needs the attention. Jip, 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 jip. For what? What did you do? You murdered your mom and then you got out 2 years early. And then you got married and had a baby with a side man, and now you're creating all this drama. But look at Mia, and look at her life. I think you're onto something. I think she's very jealous of Mia. I think she's very jealous of anybody who gets more attention than her. But I'm very happy for Mia. I really am. Jip Jip, you should be happy for your sister. Let her have the limelight. She's allowed.
Oh no. The hate spiraled into something wild. Mia posted a few bikini photos, nothing scandalous, nothing thirst-trappy, just a regular confident woman enjoying her body and the sun. But apparently, that was enough to send the trolls into overdrive. People started body-shaming her, calling her fake, attention-seeking, and worse. Like, hello? Since when did being a nurse with curves become a criminal offense? It's giving full projection, and instead of staying silent, Mia snapped back, and let me tell you, she did it with poise, but with bite. She let people know she sees the hate, but she's not about to dim her light because they're stuck in their bitterness. Now here's where things really get juicy. Allegedly, Gypsy herself has been watching all of this unfold and she is not happy. Sources, aka the internet with zero chill, say Gypsy's been feeling some type of way about Mia's rise in attention, and not in a "aww, proud sister" kind of way. More like, why is everyone suddenly talking about her? Gypsy's reportedly been throwing shade so heavy it needs its own forecast. She allegedly told someone that she can't stand looking at Mia's fake face. Like, excuse me? That's not just shade, that's a whole solar eclipse of bitterness. But honestly, it tracks. Think about it, Gypsy spent years behind bars, had her life dissected by the media, and is now trying to rebrand as this spiritual, healed, enlightened woman who has survived abuse and found love again. Meanwhile, Mia, she's got the kind of life Gypsy wishes she had, a real education, a solid career, a man who isn't in prison, and most importantly, a reputation that wasn't built on murder and manipulation. That's gotta sting. And instead of reflecting or moving forward, Gypsy's out here allegedly sending indirects, liking shady comments, and basically acting like Mia's success is a personal attack.
So the Blanchard that we actually like, Mia, she posted a video 2 days ago on TikTok of her and her boyfriend out shopping for stuff for their new apartment that they are getting together. You know, because they've been together 4 years and they love each other. And it was clear in this video, Andre was so into it. They were having a good time. Like, they interacted like a couple. There was no question if one was there only for money, if one was being held hostage, or, you know, anything like that. So I want to know, how long do you think it's going to be before GRB has her crash out moments and floods social media and her mommy vlog, although she vows not to show her child, videos of maybe a proposal, heck, engagement photos, wedding? There's going to be something to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up Mia. That's how it works all the time. So I just thought it would be fun. How long do you think it's going to be before Gypsy Rose Blanchard has a complete crash out and has to show up her sister? Because Mia obviously is living a charmed life. She's got everything Gypsy Rose wants, but Gypsy Rose just can't seem to get unless she forces it. There's the one thing Gypsy won't have until she makes some major changes, and that's honest and true love. But we already know she doesn't know what that really is.
And the tension between them? You can feel it, even though neither of them has come out and said it directly. Mia's been dropping these subtle, spicy captions, and Gypsy's been doing interviews where she always talks about being misunderstood and the people who turned their backs on her. It's giving cryptic. It's giving family feud. It's giving, I see you, sis, and I'm not clapping. People are out here playing detective, connecting dots, and girl, it's not a pretty picture. The worst part? Mia didn't even ask for this spotlight. She didn't go looking for fame. She's not trying to get a Hulu docuseries or a Netflix adaptation. She's just trying to vibe, make her coin, and post her little TikToks in peace. But because she shares blood with the most controversial figure in true crime TikTok history, everything she does gets twisted. Her perfume line becomes manipulative marketing. Her bikini becomes attention-seeking behavior. Her smile becomes a fake. Like, what do y'all want from this girl? She could cure cancer and someone would still comment, did Gypsy help you with that? And meanwhile, Gypsy's out here building a whole post-prison brand. A new man. A whole aesthetic. Sponsorship rumors. Possibly even a reality show. But with every move she makes, people are side-eyeing Mia more, like she's responsible for balancing the karma Gypsy collected. It's like Mia's living under this radioactive fog where no matter how clean her record is, she's still seen as part of the mess.
But to me, what I'm getting out of it, personally, my opinion, I get that Mia puts off a very good presentation of her and her boyfriend's, or fiance, whatever he is, dynamic in their relationship. And if you look from the outside look at them, you would think, what a beautiful couple. They look so in love and so happy. Now, from the outside looking on Ken and Gypsy's dynamic as far as their relationship, it's not the same at all. In fact, you rarely see affection at all between the two. If I didn't know better, I wouldn't even know that they were in a relationship if I didn't know who they were, just by looking at them. But I feel like Gypsy wants us all to think that she is in this fairy tale life, living happily ever after with her Prince Charming Ken. And, you know, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. I know that sisters are sisters. Sisters do sisterly things. They share clothes. They might want to use the same photographers, whatever. But when your sister is Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she clearly suffers with identity crisis and relationship issues and all sorts of other issues, not to mention her criminal history. It's kind of worrisome, but I don't know. Just a thought.
So, let's talk about what the internet's calling the bikini pic saga, because yes, we've officially reached the part of the story where even poolside selfies turn into a battlefield. Allegedly, after Mia posted those confident, sun-kissed shots of herself just vibing by the water, looking happy, glowing, and clearly feeling herself, guess who just so happened to post her own bikini photos in a very similar setup not long after? Ding ding ding. Gypsy. Now look, we could chalk it up to coincidence, but let's be real, this ain't giving random.
For a fact, actually, that we don't have everything that we need. So I was kind of stressed about that. I need my mom, Gypsy. She didn't help at all with the gender reveal, so I don't know how much help she'll get for this. Which is fine, she has an excuse. Last time I seen Gypsy, I told her, I was like, I need this, this, and this from you. And I called her just now, and she doesn't have any of that. It's annoying when I was like, okay, look, these are the things that I need from you. It's not a lot. Can you please do it? And she didn't do it. Time's ticking. Time is ticking.
The way Mia, Gypsy's half-sister, seemed so fed up with Gypsy is absolutely sending me. Because let's not forget what happened last season. Mia literally brought Gypsy to an OBGYN to inform her about how to not get pregnant right away in the best interest of her sister. It was like a very sweet and caring thing for her to do because clearly Gypsy did not get a proper education. It is hilarious that Mia is planning Gypsy's baby shower when last season she took her to the OBGYN. It must be very hard to be the sister of Gypsy, and honestly, my hat's off to Mia. I feel like she does the best she can.
This is giving copy and paste. Imitation might be the sincerest form of flattery, but this felt like a low-key competition. Like, girl, is this your version of sibling support? Or are you just trying to swipe Mia's spotlight because your glow-up's getting dimmer by the day? Because babe, the timing was too perfect, and the vibes? Petty. Fans started whispering, then those whispers turned into full-on theories. Is Gypsy trying to morph into Mia? Is she mimicking her sister to stay relevant? Or is this just good old-fashioned jealousy dressed up in a string bikini? And honestly, Gypsy wouldn't be the first public figure to ride the coattails of a more grounded family member. The way people are talking, it's like Gypsy saw Mia getting attention for not being messy, and instead of cheering her on, she said, nope, that attention's mine. The tension? Palpable. The energy? So off you could feel it through the screen. But here's where it gets even more complicated, babe, because Mia, despite all of this, is still ride or die for her family. Like, seriously. She's out here supporting Rod, Christy, and Gypsy, even though the internet is basically begging her to cut them all off, block their numbers, and go live her best main character life. And you'd think, with all this heat, she would have tapped out by now, but nope. Mia's loyalty is next level, almost to a fault. That kind of devotion is rare, and honestly kind of beautiful, but also kinda tragic. Because by standing beside Gypsy, Mia's tying herself to a brand that's radioactive. Allegedly, every time Gypsy makes a questionable move, and let's be real, it's a weekly occurrence, Mia gets caught in the fallout. Whether it's those chaotic cryptic TikToks, messy posts about exes, or the constant public drama carousel, it always circles back to Mia, and that's the worst part. It's like she's out here trying to build a cute little sandcastle of peace, and Gypsy's just stomping around causing tidal waves with every move. And guess who gets blamed when it all washes away? Now let's get into the perfume hustle, because phew, that's where things really hit the wall.
Look at how adorable she looks. She is a weird mix between adorable and beautiful. I can see why Gypsy is jealous of her. I mean, other than the fact that dad chose to raise her and be in her life and be in Dylan's life and not Nicolette or Gypsy's life. But hey, that's all on him, not her. That's not her fault. But you look at her celebrating graduating with her boyfriend, mom, dad, grandma, friends. You don't see Gypsy doling her shine. So she's done. She's got her degree, and that's amazing. That absolutely should be celebrated far and wide. That should be what gets somebody notoriety, fame, doing the right thing, being a hard worker, doing all of the things that you want to do in life as an able-bodied person. That's amazing. That is fantastic. And I hope that her future and career is as amazing and as bright as she makes it and wants it to be. But for a second, I just want to share these photos. Because it was wonderful of you to share them on your Instagram, Mia.
Mia was building something, her own lane, her own little brand. Promoting fragrances on TikTok, trying to step into her influencer era with some elegance and creativity, but the internet? Not feeling it. Not because the product was bad, not because she lacked effort, but because her last name is Blanchard. Suddenly it became, why should we support Gypsy's sister, as if trauma is genetic and Mia was in the room when everything went down. The whispers turned to roasts, the roasts turned into skepticism, and now? The perfume hustle might be hitting turbulence. A few months ago, Mia's image was squeaky clean. She had the charm, the dedication, the moral compass that practically sparkled. She was the girl you root for. But now? The more Gypsy's mess splashes across the headlines, the more people start lumping Mia into the chaos. And let's not forget, the internet has zero chill. Those bikini pics? Mia was just feeling good, living her truth, posting a little I'm that girl energy. But the internet turned it into a war zone. The body shaming was brutal, the comments were cruel, and allegedly, a lot of it came from people who still can't mentally separate her from Gypsy's actions. It's wild how one last name can turn confidence into controversy. Like, Mia could be curing diseases, and someone would still comment, isn't she the sister of that girl who, you know the rest? It's unfair. It's gross. And it's got to cut deep, but here's the thing, Mia's not backing down. Even with all the shade and all the drama, she's still out here, trying to live a life that's normal, even if everything around her is anything but.
The irony is not lost on me, the fact that a Blanchard sibling or half sibling goes on to work in the medical field when they have a half sister who claims to be abused because of the medical field. You can't make that up. But you know what can be made up? Stories. But this is a true story. This is a good story. This is a positive story. This is one that should give you all of the accolades, all of the attention, all of the press, the fame, the notoriety, the congratulations, the love. But rarely does it ever work that way. But let's talk about the fact that if these two get married, they're going to have the most beautiful kids, and it's just going to be another reason for her half sibling to be extremely jealous, because if they end up having a little boy and two girls, they're going to be the cutest mother effers you've probably ever seen, because these two would produce gorgeous children, like better looking than they are, separate or as a couple. They're just so cute as a couple. You can see it. You could see the vibe. You could feel it permeating from these vibrant, saturated photos. So I absolutely love this for Mia. Being with her better half, finishing and getting her degree, starting her forever life and her career. So congratulations, Mia. The world is your oyster. Devour it slowly and savor every taste.
Zooming out, this isn't just a messy family moment, it's a whole case study in what happens when fame and infamy are tangled up together. Gypsy has become this strange mix of celebrity and cautionary tale, with her name tossed around in documentaries, podcasts, and courtrooms. And Mia. She's stuck trying to build a normal life in the middle of a circus. It's like she got cast in a reality show she never auditioned for, and now the crowd won't stop booing, no matter how kind, smart, or unproblematic she tries to be. And here's the real kicker, Babe. Every time Mia tries to shine, whether it's through her nursing career, her perfume biz, or even just being cute on Instagram, something, asterisk or someone asterisk, pulls her back into Gypsy's shadow. Those whispers about Gypsy being jealous? They're not just tea, they might be the whole kettle. Allegedly, Gypsy's always wanted the things Mia has: respect, peace, and a clean name. But instead of carving her own lane, she's been lurking in Mia's, throwing shade like confetti and copying moves like she's studying her for a final exam. It's giving, if I can't be the good one, then no one can.
I got my sister a candle from Bed Bath & Body Works. It smells really good. It smells kind of like fresh like crisp air kind of scent, like beachy. And then we got her a candle holder to go with it. So that's perfect for her. So that was a success of finding her a birthday gift. And then as for what I went, the top I was looking for me, a rhinestone kind of rock and roll kind of vibey t-shirt. So I found this at Buckle. And then I got to complete the fit these Levi denim mini skirt. So.
And babe, let's be honest, it's dark, it's twisted. But it's also fascinating. Because behind all the likes and filters, we might be watching a sister rivalry that's been brewing since way before the world was watching.
I don't think she hates men, but she's definitely got some daddy issues. Here's what I think. Rod was an active father in Mia's life and not in Gypsy's life, as we all know. Now, Mia's the prettier sister. Now, according to beauty standards, Mia's the prettier sister. She's thin, she's blonde, she's cute. I mean, I'm not saying Gypsy's not pretty. Now, personally, if I was a man, I would rather have somebody that looks like Gypsy over Mia. But that's me. But you know how men are, and you know the standards. A white blonde girl that's thin and pretty? Come on now. And we know, the way that Gypsy looks at Mia, that there's some jealousy going on. And, I mean, honestly, I'd be surprised if there wasn't any jealousy going on. Me, myself, I would feel the same way. If my dad was in my sister's life and not mine, oh yeah, I would feel bitter. And I also believe that Gypsy is promiscuous due to her daddy issues. I don't think it has anything to do with her microdeletion like some people think. Like I've stated before in my other posts, the only problems that I've ever had was tubes in my ears. I had a few operations on my ears. I have permanent hearing loss. I'm practically deaf in my left ear and a slight lazy eye. I haven't had any of those other issues. I never had a feeding tube. I'm not overly sexual or anything. And I've talked to multiple people on this app that also have the same microdeletion that Gypsy Rose has. And they don't have anything either. One person had a feeding tube, but it was out by the time they were 1 and they never needed it again. Everybody else pretty much had the same thing. We've all had hearing problems or hearing loss. Out of all the people that I've talked to that have this, the only people that have ever had a feeding tube were severe cases. So, I don't know. But like I said, I think her promiscuity is because of her daddy issues. And that's common with people that have these daddy issues.
Now let's get into the real tea. How can Mia actually break free from this never-ending reality show she didn't audition for? Option 1, she just rides it out. Smile through the chaos, keep her head down, and hope the internet finally finds a new obsession. But babe, let's be honest, that's like hoping a Kardashian doesn't post a thirst trap on a Tuesday. Not happening. Option 2, and this one takes guts, she pulls the plug on the Blanchard brand, at least publicly. Stops replying, stops defending, ditches the comment section wars, and leans into her own glow-up. Let the perfume do the talking while she walks into her right now era unbothered. But then, there's the wild card, option 3, go full savage. Snap back, drop a story time, maybe even do a lil IG live where she politely drags the trolls and throws a little tasteful shade back at Gypsy. It's a gamble, but sometimes you've gotta play the drama to flip the script. Because let's be real, Mia's not the villain here. She's just living in Gypsy's shadow, which at this point is less sisterly bond and more emotional eclipse. From the murder that made headlines to the petty online copycatting that's still happening allegedly, Mia's paying the emotional rent for Gypsy's spotlight. She wants a fresh start, but she's chained to a past she didn't choose. Now babe, zoom out with me. Because this whole family drama is just the warm-up act. The real mess. Gypsy's love life. It's giving telenovela, bad decisions, and a splash of thirst-trap confusion. Ryan Anderson and Ken Urker, 2 men, 1 woman, 0 peace. Ryan's out here acting like Gypsy's Prince Charming trapped in a Lifetime movie. Word is he's still orbiting her life like a sad little planet, pretending he's moved on with some mysterious woman who somehow has no name, no photos, and no presence anywhere. Sounds more like a cover story than a love story, right? Especially since sources say he still watches all her lives and allegedly keeps her name on his phone like she's on speed dial. Boy, be serious. And then there's Ken. Oh, Ken. If Ryan's the ghost of Gypsy past, Ken's the on-again off-again chapter we can't stop flipping back to. They've got this situationship energy that just refuses to die. Every time he tries to bounce, Ryan pops back up like a dramatic ex in a soap opera, and Gypsy? She's not stopping the drama, she's in the front row with snacks, cheering it on. Honestly, someone call Netflix, because I'd binge watch Gypsy's Men, the series in a heartbeat. But babe, it gets juicier. Some dusty old drama just resurfaced that's flipping the whole Gypsy narrative on its head. Remember when everyone painted Dee, her mom, as this evil puppet master? Well, hold on. Allegedly, Ken's been dropping bombs about Dee tinting the windows to keep people from seeing Gypsy walking around the house. If Gypsy was really as sick and bedridden as claimed, then why the heavy window tint? Gypsy's spin? She says it was all paranoia about CPS peeking in. And here's the kicker, CPS did show up. They were expecting a kid. What they found? A full-grown woman with papers confirming her age. Dee's response? Oh, she just has the mind of a child. But Gypsy? When asked if she felt safe and wanted to leave, she said no. Allegedly. So if life was so dark and twisted, why stay? And it doesn't stop there. There's photo proof of Gypsy out and about, in public, before Dee's murder, wearing a crown, no less, like she's the prom queen of Munchausen High. Doesn't exactly scream isolated prisoner, right? And then there's the BB gun situation, 10 rounds. 10. On a bedridden woman. That's not a misunderstanding, babe, that's personal. Plus, let's talk about those medical forms Gypsy was signing herself. If she had enough clarity to authorize her own surgeries, she definitely knew her age. So how is she also out here saying she didn't know how old she was until after she was arrested? Make it make sense. The deeper you dig, the murkier this story gets. Was Gypsy really trapped, or was she playing along to keep the act going? Was she a victim, a co-conspirator, or both? Meanwhile, Mia's just trying to find a clean corner to stand in while this whole mess explodes in every direction. Gypsy's got Ryan hooked like a lost puppy, Ken locked in a never-ending beef with him, and the internet dissecting every move while Mia's out here just trying to sell body spray and pass her finals.